Hello everybody, how are you? I'm doing good. It's a nice sunny day here as I'm getting ready to record this WIP and Chat. So let's get to it. Let's see. First of all, can you see what I'm working on? Do I have you zoomed in properly? Yes, I do. Okay, good. So I'm just working on this little tiny section here right now, and I have one more release paper here. This is only my first row. I know, don't judge. Don't judge too harshly, okay? I'm a busy girl. Anyhow, we'll talk about all the busyness in my life. Yeah, lots of busyness. And this week is no exception. Lots of things going on. Hair in my mouth. That's always fun. Love to eat my own hair. Anyhow, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a good time doing the chuck along. I hope that you were able to catch Chuck live last Saturday on my channel. I absolutely love it when he comes and spends time with us and answers questions and just talks about his art and shows us art. I mean, the art that he showed on Saturday has not been produced as diamond paintings yet. And so many of us are like, oh, please. There's one for sure. There was a couple of people that were like, oh yeah, as soon as that one is a diamond painting, it's all mine. So reminds me of like out west somewhere, like if you were in Yellowstone or someplace like that. Old, rustic, like a chuck wagon type of situation. Horses, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I was like, that would be mine. Second I see it as a diamond painting, I'm on it. I'll jump on that one. There's a few paintings that he has done that I'm just like, the Teal Lighthouse. I'll always call it the Teal Lighthouse. It does have a name. Sunrise, or I don't know what it is. I can't even tell you what it is. I've called it the Teal Lighthouse for so long, I don't even remember its name. Anyhow, yeah, there's a few paintings that come out that I'm just like, they're breathtaking. They just literally take my breath away. And I'm like, okay, hang on, sir. I know you want to come up here, but you cannot claw your way up my leg to get up in my lap. I think you're going to have to go outside with your brother and your sister for a little while because I need to record. Yep, that's a burr. You've been out in the woods, out in the bush. Hey, don't get my necklace. No. Yep, no, we cannot whip and chat with Kitty. No, that's my necklace. You can't get my necklace. No, sir. Boy, this cat, oh my gosh, this cat is so big. I don't know. Let's just see if we can show him to you. Hang on. It's unbelievable how big he is. I don't even know. Say hello. He's huge. Anyhow, I don't know if you can even see him. I don't know. He's huge. He's ginormous. Here. Say hello. Say hello. You're right there up in the camera. Say hi. He's such a big boy. He's huge. And he's my lover boy. He's the one, he really just likes to be around people. He likes to be inside. I'm going to put him out, though. I'm going to put him outside. He doesn't really take off. If you would just go lay down and take a nap, we could do that. Here. You got the whole couch to yourself. Just take a nap. Just lay down, take a nap. He's already napped on the bed this morning, so I think I'm just going to close the door. He won't get into too much trouble. He's like, she's locking me out. Oh, my goodness. He's my lover boy, though. He's so cute. And he's big. He's huge. I can only imagine how big that cat is going to get. Because he's not done growing. He's not done. He's going to be a big boy. Anyhow, he already is. All right. Enough of Kitty. Kitty, go find something to do. His brother and his sister are outside. So, anyhow, we'll talk about them a little more in a minute. But let's finish with the chuck along. Like I was saying, there are a few paintings that just come out. And I'm just like, I fall right in love with them, like immediately. Well, this one he showed on Saturday night was one of them. I will link last Saturday's live here so that you can go check it out. He showed 4 paintings, talked about them, talked about the inspirations. He talks about things he puts in the paintings, a little bit about technique stuff. I mean, it's so fascinating. And I am so blessed and thankful that he shares that stuff with us. And it's reciprocated. He is so appreciative of us as well, you know, that we love his artwork, that we love all of his, you know, artwork as it comes out in diamond painting form. It's a reciprocal relationship between us and him. You know, we both appreciate each other. So it's so cool. But I will link that live below so you can go check it out and see some beautiful artwork. You may not have even seen this artwork before. I know that I've seen a couple of them come up in Diamond Art Club's votes, but I know there was one I hadn't seen anywhere yet. So, you know, I'm kind of like a Chuck Pinson stalker. I stalk different sites. Fine Art America, that's a place I go and I look. They will usually have his most current, up-to-date artwork, and you can purchase his artwork on things like prints and mugs and different types of items that they will print his art on. So they usually have it pretty quickly. Once he's released it out there in the world for licensing, they'll get it. And I mean, they definitely have it available before we do as diamond paintings. So gorgeous, gorgeous. And he's such a wonderful, humble man. It's great to spend time with him. I didn't know for a while that his wife was there, but she was there. I heard a couple times I heard like another voice or a laugh or something. And then I was like, hey, is Deborah there? And he's like, yeah, she's sitting beside me. She's been helping with camera and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I thought so. Okay. But it's nice to have built kind of a relationship with them as well. They know me, I know them, you know, that's kind of special too. In a million years, I never ever would have thought I would have had like a special relationship with an artist like this. I didn't know anything about artists when I started diamond painting. I really didn't. I mean, I knew some big artists. I mean, like I knew like Monet and, you know, that kind of stuff. But as far as that went, I really didn't know much about artists or anything. And boy, I have been educated and I have learned some artists and I communicate with some artists. You know, I can list off a few that I can have conversations with, a few that I've had on my channel, a few that I've been able to like interview, things like that. And there's a couple more on my list. I need to get busy with that. I love doing that. I want to do more of that. Somebody said I would be so nervous I couldn't do it. And I said, oh, the very first time I had Chuck come on my channel, I was a wreck. I was like, Shannon and Devin were here. They sat in the living room so they could like field questions and things like that. And I was a nervous wreck. I really was. But it gets easier each time. It really does. It gets easier. You just kind of know the ropes as to what an interview with an artist will entail, questions and things like that. And yeah, there's a couple more on my list. I got to get on that. There's one in particular I really want. I want Abraham Hunter. I just need to reach out to Abraham Hunter. And my guess is he will probably do it. But I have to do it. Okay. So anyhow, back to Chuck Along. Check out that video, the live. I'll have it linked. And we're in week 2. Week 2. Rolling. So please make sure. And I always am nervous about this because I see people just post pictures in the Facebook group, just on the thread, like, here's my progress. And I'm like, I hope that they are putting it in the designated weekly post, right? I hope it's going in the post. And I don't have time to go check all of those when I see them, you know, but please remember, you can post in the thread as well. That is just fine. But please make sure that you are posting your progress pictures in the weekly posts. Okay. Otherwise, Maritza does not see them. We do not go back and look through the thread to look for, chuck-along pictures. They must be in the posts. 1 a week. Okay. So I have all my prizes. I got my last prize donation today. It just got delivered a minute ago. So I have everything here ready to give away, and we'll do all of that after the event is over. So Maritza takes all of the entries and she starts making a spreadsheet, putting them all in a spreadsheet. So week 1, if you had a new start, you get 2 entries. You get 2 entries. So you'll get 2 numbers on the spreadsheet. If you have a already started painting, you would get 1. Okay, so no progress because you've already gotten progress. Now, I don't think that I made that very clear in the announcement, but you already have your progress. So if you have a pre-started painting, you get your kit up, your start photo, not kit up, but your start photo. So you get 1 entry for week 1. All right, Maritza knows how it works, and she knows who to give credit, how much credit for this and for that, and she does a really nice job with the spreadsheets. We've been doing it this way now for the last multiple times. I don't even know how many times, but we kind of got it down pat. Explaining it, sometimes, I forget to say certain things, but that's how it works. Okay. Other than that, just make sure you're posting your weekly progress and be around at the end of the month. We haven't really announced the exact date. We will do a live to give away prizes, and I'll get with her and we'll make sure, a date works, and I'll let you know that soon. I'll let you know. Okay? All right. Anything else about the chuck-along? I don't think so. All right. So I have not made a ton of progress on mine, but that's fine. I have October. And October is going to be my month I can get things finished because I don't have an event in October. I don't know why I don't have an event in October, but I don't. Not doing anything event-wise. So I don't have to worry about finishing this in September. I can finish it up in October. I am busy. Busy. I feel like there's a million things on my plate these days. Lots of different directions for me to be. Not enough hands, not enough time, etc., etc. So I just do the best I can do. Let me just give you an example. This morning I got up. I was up fairly early. I think I was up at, was it 7:30 or was it a little later? It might have been a little later. I think I woke up at 6:30 and went back to sleep and maybe got up like at 8 or something. Anyhow, I had plans. I had a little bit of yarn left over from a beanie hat I had made. And I'm really weird about this, you guys. I want to finish up using any little tidbits of yarn I have left before I move on to another project. So like I have a skein or I have a hank or a ball or a cake or whatever. And I want to use it up and then move on to a new project. Now, I can't use it up completely because there's always going to be some little tidbit left. But if there's enough to do a small project with, I want to do a small project. So I had finished the beanie yesterday, and that was a process in and of itself. I had to alter the pattern because most beanie patterns are made with a worsted weight yarn, which is a heavier yarn. Now, most of my fancy hand-dyed yarns are DK weight, which is thinner. So if you take a thinner yarn and try to put it into a pattern using a thicker yarn, sizing's not going to come out right. So I worked on the beanie. I had it started. I'm like, nope, that's not going to work. What can I do? So I tore it out. I didn't have very much of it done, but I had enough of it done to realize it was going to be too small. I should have known right from the get-go. But I tore it out. I went up a hook size and I added 2 stitches to the very beginning because it starts in the center, you know, with a round circle in the center. I added 2 stitches there. So then that meant as we went around, increases were increasing faster because, you know, I got 2 extra stitches. And it worked. It worked perfectly. So a little trial and error. Did I feel like I wasted some time, but I didn't waste time. You know what I mean? So I got smart though. I got smart and I wrote down what pattern it was. I have one crochet like project book. I have 3 book progress books. I was looking through all these little like project log book type things I have. I have 3 for books. And I never write anything in the book logs because I just put everything I read on Goodreads. Okay? So I don't use the book logs. However, I knew I had a crochet one and I found it. And so I wrote down this pattern. I wrote down what the name of it was because I like this beanie. It turned out really nice. I like it. And then I wrote down my alterations, my changes. So I have it for next time. Now, if I'm smart, I will keep doing that with things, right? What I would like next is I would actually like to maybe take a photo of it and print it out. There's a place I can put a photo in there too so I can remember what it looked like. So I'm going to try to do that, okay? Like when I did Smash in the Specials, I took pictures of everything that I did. So I have pictures of all of my specials, and I'll just have to get on my computer and print them off and be able to put them in a logbook. I didn't take pictures of every individual piece this time, which I've done in the past. This time, I just had a group photo. Here's a group photo. There might have been 6 or 7 things there, and I took a photo of it. And then I can just, you know, put that in my logbook. So, yeah, so I'm learning. I'm learning to work smarter, right? Work smarter, save information, things like that. Anyhow, back to the beanie project and the leftover yarn. I wanted to use up the rest of that little bit of yarn. Now, one of the things I'm doing with my hand-dyed yarns, when I have enough left over, is I want to make a hexagon, okay? And with those hexagons, eventually, I'll be able to put them together to make a blanket. They'll be all random colors, but they're really pretty when you do that. Nitty Natty has been working on one. It's her blanket from around the country because they're traveling the country, visiting all of the states this year. And she's buying hand-dyed yarn from each state as she goes and making a hexagon with each one. I think she's kind of quit doing that because she got so many hexagons. Her blanket got really large. But anyhow, this morning, I wanted to make a hexagon and then move on to a new project, right? So, first of all, I had to find the original pattern. And I hunted and hunted. I finally had to go to Nitty Natty's video and find her Ravelry. And then I could find the pattern. But then she altered it. And I've made one. So I need to do it the same way I did the first one. And it was a long time ago. And I don't remember. So again, here I am spending all this time finding the pattern, then finding the alterations or the adjustments or the modifications. What word am I looking for? Modifications that she made to the pattern because I need to do it the same way I did the first time. I felt like I just wasted a whole bunch of time, again, just hunting for things. Well, again, I'm going to write it all down. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to, I wish there was a way that I could remember how to get the pattern. I can't print the pattern. I don't think I can print it because it's on a blog. I don't know. I'll have to check and see. I could probably purchase it. You know, I'm trying not to purchase things if I don't have to, if I can get them for free. I mean, why would you pay for something? I mean, you pay for it to support the designer. Okay, I'll say that. Anyhow, I got to find an easier way. But I'm going to write everything down so I know what it is, know where it is, make it easier to find it next time. And I would assume that after a while, I would remember how to do the basic pattern because it's not hard. Anyhow, I finished that one finally. I know some of you don't even care that I'm talking about all this crochet stuff, but anyhow, I finished that hexagon and I looked at my little ball of yarn I had left and I thought, it almost looks like I have enough left to do another one. So I started another one and I got in about 2 to 3 rounds. And then I was like, no, this is not going to be enough. And it's fine. Do I really need another one in the same color? No, I really don't. So the other ball of yarn I had from the first hexagon doesn't look like it would make another one either. There was less of that. So I'm like, okay. So I have these little balls of yarn left. And there's a fair amount in there. And my thought is, I'm just going to hang on to all of those, maybe throw them in a basket somewhere. And at some point in time, maybe I'll just make some scrappy project out of all of those. I'll just hang on to them, right? So I'm feeling pretty good about using up this expensive yarn, getting multiple projects out of it. So anyhow, out of the one ball, I got a beanie. I got 1 hexagon, and I got a little bit of scrap left over. Not bad. All right. So I took that last little bit that I had, and I thought, okay, is there something else I can do with this? I found this really pretty headband pattern, and I started the headband pattern. I started it. And I got like on the second row, and again, I looked ahead in the pattern, looked at what I had left in my hand, and I was like, no, that's not going to be enough yarn to do that. So that's when I decided, nope, forget it. Just call it here. There is no project small enough for what you have left over that's going to work. So just no. But again, I started a whole nother project that I had to tear out and felt like I just wasted time. So for my whole morning, what did I get done? What did I get done? Oh, no, that wasn't the end of it. Man, that was not the end. I thought, okay, small project. Okay, I made one of those little pouches, a drawstring pouch. I'm like, that took hardly any yarn at all. So I have now started a little bitty drawstring pouch with this nice fancy yarn. I'm determined to use as much of it as I can, but it is taking time. So today, in all of my work, all of my time I put in, several hours, I got 1 hexagon done, and I've started a pouch. That's all I got done. Now, okay, that's all I got made. Let's put it that way. Did I accomplish other things? Yes. I found the pattern again. I found the modifications again. And now I know how to go write it down in my book. So the background research, was not wasted time. Now, do I love that headband I started? Yes. And what am I going to do next? I'm going to do that headband. I actually have the yarn sitting right there on the coffee table to make the headband, and that's the next thing I'm going to work on after I finish the little pouch. Okay, so it wasn't time wasted, but I feel like I didn't get much made today. It's okay. I didn't get much made. It's all right. So I'm learning as I go, for sure. Learning And I've said in the past, I want to just have patterns at hand available of things that I want to make for craft shows. So it's easy. These things work. And I'll know more after I start doing a couple more of the craft shows to see what sells. You know, if I get there and I don't sell nary one bucket hat, why would I make more? If I don't sell any bandanas, why would I put that on my list to make more? So right now, I'm just making things I like and things that I think will sell. Things that are kind of, I would say they're fairly trendy right now, the things I've been making. So I just have to make them and go to the craft show and see if they sell. If they don't, I don't know. And then I just got a bunch of stuff to give away, or maybe try to sell it through my channel. I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, so that craft show, that first one, it's coming up really fast. And I'm finding myself wanting to crochet stuff just for that instead of like my projects. Okay. So I have a shawl with nice yarn I need to finish. I have 3 of the repeat sections to go and it's done. So, I mean, it's taking a lot longer now because the shawl's growing as I keep working on it. So it's taking longer for each row, of course. But I've kind of set it aside. Okay. I got started on my Expression Fiber Arts gratitude project. And I literally, it's in my crafty vlog, I literally have a little triangle, little bitty triangle. And that's all I've done. I did do my Expression Fiber Arts Square of the Month for last month. This month hasn't come out yet. Wonderland, I haven't done yet. I have the yarn and I haven't done the Wonderland squares. So I'm like putting off things that I do for myself to do things for craft sale, right? Anyhow, I'll get to them, right? I will get to them. I'm at the point now where I take crochet with me. Like, we went to get groceries the other day, and I didn't know where else we were going to end up because you never know with Dale. And that's when I was working on the beanie. So I took it with me, and I worked on it on the drive there because it takes us about, I don't know, 15 minutes, maybe between 10 and 15 minutes to get there. And I actually got, I don't know, 1 or 2 rounds done on this hat on the way to the store. And I got some more done on the way home from the store. And then I had Jackson for a few hours, and he sat and watched a movie for a little bit. And I sat next to him and just crocheted. And that's how I finished the beanie. Right? So, yeah, I'm taking crochet with me. I took it with me when I went to pick him up to sit in the car line. I mean, whoo, yeah, sat in the car line for a few minutes. And I got some of it done there. So the beanie got done pretty quickly once I figured out how to change the pattern to match my yarn. So yeah, I'm taking stuff with me as I travel places now to just work on. And it's okay. And what else am I going to do? I think Dale actually appreciates me sitting in the car crocheting more than being on my phone. He's like, you're always got that phone, always got that phone. Well, now I just have yarn in my hand. But he doesn't say anything about that. He knows it's for the craft sale, and I'm trying to get, stuff to sell. Anyhow, it's a whole different mindset, I guess, Oh, yeah, she's working here. Phone, not work related, apparently. So, I don't know. Anyhow, excuse me, I am loving the crocheting. Having fun with it. There are so many fun things. It's like diamond painting. There are so many things to work on. You want to work on all of them because they're all beautiful. They're all pretty. You want them all finished. I'm the same way with crochet and patterns that I keep finding. More and more patterns. I want to do all of it. I know I can't. I know that that's not possible. It's not physically possible. So I crochet in the mornings and sometimes a little bit during the day if there's nothing much going on. I can crochet some more during the day. And then diamond painting is kind of reserved for the evenings, like after dinner, after the ducks are in, chickens are in, then I sit and I diamond paint. So, I mean, it's just figuring out a schedule, kind of what works, when I can get things done, you know. And then reading, of course, reading is relegated to breakfast. While I'm eating breakfast, taking vitamins, that kind of stuff, the morning routine, I listen to a book on Alexa. And then at night, I go to bed. Before I go to sleep, it's my way to just kind of lull myself to sleep at night is reading. So that's the amount of reading I get done. I did have somebody over the weekend suggest that I did more book stuff, that I should have a book talk channel, booktube channel. And I was like, no, I don't read enough for that. Booktubers read a ton of books. They read a ton of books. They're constantly reviewing books, and I don't read enough. If I read 2 books a month, 3 books a month, let's just say 3. Let's say I get 3 done a month. 1 on Alexa, 1 for our book talk, our book live, and 1 that I'm doing on my own. So I'll just say 3. That's average. I get 3 books a month. That is not enough books read to be a booktuber. Okay? So then they suggested that I do listen to audiobooks. And I'm like, well, sure, you can listen to audiobooks and get more reading under your belt. But while I do things like diamond paint, I usually watch YouTube videos, you know? And that would be when other people listen to books, I'm watching YouTube videos because I'm trying to get caught up on my YouTube videos. I watch diamond painters. I watch crocheters. I watch book talk people, booktube people. So I have a lot of people that I like to watch. And sometimes I get way behind. Right now I'm fairly behind. I'm fairly behind. Now, do I skip stuff? Absolutely. There's stuff I skip. Sorry, some people out there. Sorry, I skip stuff. Do I watch sneak peek videos for Diamond Art Club? No, never. Not even from my friends. Sorry, Brandy and Kara. I don't watch them. So yeah, I'm a busy girl. That's all I'm getting at. I'm a busy girl. And then when you throw in things like every once in a while, I don't very often get asked to pick up Jackson, but once in a while, like Shannon was working and Devin had an appointment. So yeah, I'll pick him up and have him for a few hours. That was interesting. Oh, that was interesting. Yes, it was. But what else am I going to do? What else would I be doing if I was not doing these crafty things that I love to do? What would I be doing? I mean, you can only clean house so much. You can only garden so much. There is weeding that needs to be done. Oh, weeding. Oh, yeah. Do I want to do it? No. And part of me is like, it is September, and pretty soon my perennials are going to be dying back. Why go weed now? Why go weed now? Why not wait until a nice, beautiful day in October when most of my perennials have died back, and then I can go out and just clean up the flower beds? Take out the dead, take out the weeds at the same time. Why do it now? That's part of my philosophy. Why do it now? I hope there's more of this color. Let's see. It's 7:02. Is this 7:02 in my... It is. Oh, thank goodness, because I'm like, we is running out of this color. Like, see? There. Empty container. Boink. There's a whole nother bag. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so that's my philosophy on that. Just wait until stuff has died back and then just go clean up the flower beds completely. However, Sunday, yes. Sunday, Dale's daughter came over to get an oil change on her car. So he's doing an oil change in the garage, and we went out to look at the flower garden. And I've been working on the flower garden, weeding it. It certainly was not done, but I had made good progress. But there was quite a bit to do yet. So we ended up looking at flowers, and she started pulling weeds. And I started pulling weeds. And we weeded and weeded and weeded. We weeded for 2 hours, her and I. Dale came out for a few minutes after he was done with the oil change. He was probably out there for a half an hour or so, and he weeded. Guess what, folks? It's weeded. It is completely weeded. I mean, it looks good. I have to go out and take a video of it because right now it looks awesome. Okay, it looks great. I'm impressed. But that was 2 hours. I mean, I was literally on my hands and knees crawling between the rows of zinnias because that was the only way to get in there and get the weeds out. Yep. So there's that. But it looks great. The zinnias are beautiful. I go out and cut zinnias every few days and bring them in because I love them so much. They're so pretty. I need to take more pictures of them or put them more in more videos because they're gorgeous. So Floret Farms is doing a seed saving course. They're doing a little seed saving course. And I've watched the first little episode. I don't think I've missed any. I haven't seen another one yet, but their first one was how to save your zinnia seeds, So I have a couple of flowers out there that I'm letting go to seed, letting them dry up because, they got to dry up to get seed off them. I've learned a lot. I have learned a lot about zinnias, how they grow, things like that. So I got some things that I'm letting go to seed so I can collect seed because, as I've said before, these were expensive seeds. And I want to have some for next year. So I'm going to do my best to collect some seeds. Anyhow, yeah, zinnias are very interesting. I've learned a lot about them, how they grow, and not to cut them too soon because more petals will open from the center and they get fuller if you just let them grow a little bit longer and then cut them. It's amazing, the difference. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, we did a lot of work out there. But it looks good. It looks good, I will say. Now, is there going to have a few more weeds pop up before now in frost? Of course. Can I pull some as they pop up? I hope. But I have, oh my gosh, I have some iris blooming. Iris shouldn't bloom at this time of year, right? But they're blooming. I'm wondering if our white one out by the end of the driveway, out by the road, is going to bloom again. The white one always seems to rebloom. It blooms early and it blooms late again. I haven't been out there to look. I'm going to go look, but it might rebloom. These are reblooming. It's very interesting. Now, the iris that's blooming is one that we transplanted some from up here by the house. Now, is the one up here by the house blooming again? No. But the one out in the garden didn't bloom yet. So, anyhow, it didn't bloom yet this year. Guess it's its first bloom. It got mature enough, got enough root system, whatever it needed to bloom again. I have two dahlias that survived from seed that I planted. 2. That was it. One is blooming. One is blooming. It's opening. It's got like just one little round of petals. I'm leaving it to see what it'll do. If it will also grow and get more full. So it's super pretty. The other plant is growing. I don't know if it's going to make it to blooming stage before frost hits. I'm hopeful that it does, but we'll see. Anyhow, Dale, I don't know if I've even talked about this, I had a friend give him one of those tarped garages. Okay. He bought a new one because he needed a new tarp. And I guess he didn't know that he could just go buy a new tarp for his tarped garage. So he just bought a whole new kit. So he's got a whole frame he doesn't need. So Dale took it. And Dale has been trying to figure out what he's going to do with it. Could it be more room for chickens? Nope, can't figure out where to put it. Cannot figure out where to put it to add to the chicken run. So no. Could I use it for flowers? And I was like, I could use it for flowers. We could make it into like a little mini, like hoop house. Well, not mini, it's big. Make it into like a hoop house, and I could plant some more flowers in it and have it more greenhouse-like. Could do that. Well, where would we put it? I don't know. So this has gone back and forth for quite a while now. So I think we got it figured out. It's going to go behind my flower garden and extend my flower garden, which is cool because I now have so many tulips out there that I've really taken up a lot of room with tulips and iris. So I don't have a ton of room for just the other flowers I want to plant. So he's working on it. He's getting it put together. The directions, it came with a booklet, but it was wet and he couldn't hardly read it. He's got it figured out though. And we have found a place to put it. Now he's gone back there. He's cut some bushes. He's trimmed some trees to make room for it to fit in behind the current flower bed, the current flower garden. Cool. Now, next thing will be figuring out how to cover it. What do we cover it with? You can get plastic, just like greenhouse plastic. He's like, well, how do you attach it? How do you attach it to these poles? And I'm like, well, we're going to have to figure that out. So I look up a YouTube video, of course, It says, oh, you get this channel and you attach this channel and then you get this, I don't know what they call it, twisty wire or something. I don't know. Then Dale was like, well, look at this. We could get the panels, like those plastic panels like we have on the greenhouse. And I'm like, yeah, that seems expensive. But, I mean, the thing is like, what is it, 10 by 20 or something like that? It's big. It's big, okay? I don't know. So, anyhow, we're in the process of putting in a new flower bed growing place. I won't call it really a greenhouse. I would call it like a hoop house. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm calling it a hoop house. So it would be covered. It would get more heat. And you could always, see, here's the other thing. I saw somebody, they were like, if you want to control your temperature, they had the plastic. And if it got too hot in there, like in the, height of summer, they could roll up their plastic on the sides because, you really want it for when you get it started, get your seedlings growing, your plants are coming up, they're growing great, they're getting lots of sun and heat, which is what they need. But then as, natural sunlight in summer occurs, it might get too hot. So they could roll the plastic up on the sides and that would let in some more airflow. Right? Makes sense to me. So that's why I'm thinking plastic. I think I want plastic. Anyhow, we'll have to do some more research and see how it all works out. See, I'm from one thing to another thing. I'm from diamond painting to crochet to flowers to kids to cats to... I'm all over the board. I'm all over the board. I hope that's interesting to you. Some of you might not care about any of it. Well, if you don't care about any of it, I don't know why you would be here. Anyhow, that's how it goes. That's my life. That is my life. Now, since his daughter was here over the weekend, she took a couple pictures with a few of the cats, and she's shown the kids the kitty pictures. Now they're very jealous. They're like, oh, you got to see the kitties. Of course, they want to come see the kitties now. And, when the kids were here 2 days a week, they would come in every day and they'd be like, oh, you got so big. And I'm like, really? No, they really didn't grow in 2 days. They really didn't grow in 2 days that much. But they would say it every time. Oh, look how big you got. You got so big. No, not really. But if they came back now I would say, yeah, yep, they've grown. They have gotten big. Especially Smokey. He's huge. He's huge. So they want to come this weekend because they weren't here with her. They want to come this weekend so they can see the kittens. I'm like, okay, well, all right. I don't know what all we're going to do, but like when she was here, we ended up having dinner together. Oh, yeah. Dale had to get a new phone. Has anybody ever experienced this? I had a lot to talk about today. See, I'm just rambling from one thing to the next. Has anybody had this experience? His phone quit charging. Okay. Something's wrong with the port. It quit charging. So we ended up at the store and the guy was like, yep, it's weird. He said, it's like the cord won't go in, but I don't see anything in there. And he's like, I know, right? Said, well, you do have insurance. You can make an insurance claim. Okay. So we stayed in the store while we did this because the guy helped us. And it's a good thing he did because it was a little difficult. So we got online and we made this insurance claim. And then it got to the payment portion because there was a $99 deductible, which is better than buying a new phone. And he still owed money on his phone, by the way. So got to the payment portion. Now, they wanted to just use my card on file. However, they needed some verification from my card, like their special security code and whatnot. And I didn't have my card with me. I did not even have my purse with me. So I was like, well, that's not going to work. So when we got to that point and it wasn't going to work, tried to back out of it and go back in and put in Dale's card. And then it got all messed up. Then it just got messed up. And he ended up backing out of the whole thing. So we're back at square one. And now we have to call and speak to a person. So, like I said, we did not leave the store until this was done. So we got it all handled anyhow, went through the whole thing again, got Dale's payment in there, and it's all set. And they were going to be able to deliver the new phone between 5 and 7 on Sunday. Between 5 and 7, delivery. And we're like, oh, I'm just thinking they're just dropping off a phone. No. And this is the part that I've never had happen before. No, they have a person come from this, like the insurance part, Assurian or something like that. They have employees. They go pick up your phone and they bring it to you. They come to your home and they bring you the phone and help you set it up. I never heard of such a thing. He's like, oh yeah, we do this all the time. This is my full-time job. He said, I travel all over the place. He is based in Grand Rapids, and the phone he had to pick up was also in Grand Rapids. So he picks up the phone. He picked up multiple phones, actually. And schedules, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here, different places around the state. I mean, not all around the state. I mean, he's got a little territory that he does, but I mean, he does a bit of traveling and goes around to people's homes and sets up their phone for them. I'm like, never heard of such a thing. Okay. So he shows up and he's setting up the phone, and they can insure other devices in your home. Okay. They have a package you can pay for. They can insure your laptops, your tablets, your iPads, your smart TVs, and they can come out and work on all of those devices as well if you buy this insurance package through them. I'm like, so you know how to work on all those things? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, do you know how to make cameras work better on a laptop? He goes, well, maybe, probably. Why? So I told him what my camera's been doing, that it keeps like dimming on me as I'm doing a live. And he's like, no, there's got to be a setting somewhere. He said, let's see. I bet I can fix it. I'm like, okay. So he came in here to the office and he played around with my laptop for a while. Opened up StreamYard, got the camera up, played with it for a little bit. He changed some settings and whatnot. And I don't know. We'll see tonight if it dims again. So there's that. I thought that was interesting. We'll see if my free service that I got works. I hope it did. I really hope it did. So I'd never had that experience. I've never had anybody deliver a phone and set it up at my home before. I thought that was unique. But I don't know if I want to pay to insure all of the devices in my house, but I mean, it almost seemed like not a bad deal. I don't know. I mean, you have to pay a yearly fee and whatnot, but I don't know. Here's the funny thing. When we were at the store, the guy at the store was like, oh, by the way, the phone number, blah, 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 they can get a free phone. And I'm like, a free phone? Free? Yeah, you can get the new Samsung 24. You can get that free. It's Josh's phone. I'm like, okay, free. Yep. Josh's phone is the oldest phone on our plan. Mine is the next oldest, and Dale's is the newest. Dale's is the newest phone, and it's the broke phone. Isn't that funny? Josh, really, he's not one of those guys that's like, oh, I got to have a new phone. I got to have the latest and the greatest. He's like, no, I'm good. My phone's working. He started protecting his phone with an OtterBox, and he's never had any problems since he did that. He used to break his phones all the time, but he got himself an OtterBox with this last phone, and he's like, it doesn't have a scratch on it. It's good. I'm like, cool. So, well, just so you know, if you're interested, you can get a free phone, a new one. Like I said, Dale's phone wasn't even paid off. I think mine's paid off. Mine didn't cost that much. I got a really good deal on mine. They gave me like a bunch of money off on my phone when I got the new one and traded in the old one. So I think mine's paid off, but Dale's is not. And his was the cheapest. Go figure. Cheapest? Maybe that's why it broke. I don't know. But he got a new one just like it again. So it's guaranteed for, what is it guaranteed for? A year? I think it's guaranteed for a year. If anything happens to it within a year, which it should be paid off within this year, he just gets a new one. No deductible this time. I'm like, okay. So yeah, that's another exciting thing we did over the weekend. Went and dealt with the phone store, and yeah. So the guys here are working on phones, setting up phones. It took like 2 hours or more for his phone to actually be activated. He said that's a Verizon thing there. It's just taken forever for people's phones to actually become active once we get it all set up. But it worked. And then we had ordered Mexican. And so Melissa went and picked up Mexican while we're sitting here waiting for the phone guy to show up to set up Dale's phone and bring his new phone. And so she showed up and she's got Mexican. It felt kind of weird sitting there with food, eating food, and this guy's, Funny thing is, his next stop was out in Eaton Rapids, which is where she lives. He was headed there. So, yeah, that was a fun afternoon. And so we didn't get groceries that day because we had all that other stuff going on. The oil change, the weeding, the phone delivery. Yeah, we got groceries yesterday, though. We didn't need a lot. We're good. We are good. So that's my busy week. Now today, I have to go to the dentist. I am not looking forward to it. I canceled this appointment back when I was sick. When I had my sinusy infection thing going on, I canceled this appointment. So it's time now to go get a crown. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I really hate going and having dental work. I really do, but I know it needs to be done. I told my sister, that I was going to have it done, and she goes, oh, that's going to cost you a bunch of money. And I'm like, not really. She goes, well, mine cost me a bunch. Why? I'm like, I don't know. We got good dental insurance. it's only going to be like $150. And I mean, crowns are like between $1,000 and $2,000. You know, they're not cheap, but we have great insurance. I think it's like around $1,500 for a crown. I'm going to pay $150. Yeah, that seems exactly right. I think I pay like 10%. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Anyhow, I just don't want to do it. You know, it's just a hassle. It's a hassle. They got to grind down your tooth down to just that post. Then they got to make, and he makes the teeth right there. He makes them. Okay. Somebody asked me, what, are they 3D printed? No, they're not 3D printed. They are, they're ceramic. It's pretty cool though. It's a long day. I mean, and the worst part, of course, is getting shots to numb everything. Once it's numb, it's just a hassle. It's easier than it used to be because you don't have to do all of those gooey, icky impressions and stuff like that. Everything now is done with a wand, and it just takes imaging, and then the imaging goes into the computer and it tells the machine how to make the tooth, and then it's all carved out of a block of ceramic by this interesting little machine. So the problem I had last time, I've had it done once that way, is that it just didn't fit properly, and it still hurt when I would bite down on it. And I had to go back and have it adjusted. It's okay now. I would still say it could still use a little adjusting. I might have him check it again today since I'm going to be there. Like it's almost a little, like sensitive, not sensitive. Like I don't feel like it's strong when I chew something hard to chew on that one. But I'm just hoping that this goes smooth and I'm not going to have to worry about it. Now I have to go back again. It'll just be a smooth process, one and done, in and out, I'm done. It's great. Yay. Right? That's my hope. But it's going to take a while. I think I'm going to take crochet because I think I'm going to be sitting there for a while, waiting for the tooth to be made. I think I'll take crochet today. Maybe I can finish that little pouch while I'm sitting there. I know I won't be able to work on it while they're actually in my mouth, but while I'm just sitting there waiting for the tooth, I think I can crochet, kill some time, right? So wish me luck with that. Oh, by the time you hear this, I'll be done. Hopefully it went smooth. Okay. All right. Am I done rambling? Do I have anything else to ramble about? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do I only need 3 of these? I hope I only need 3 of these because that's what I put in my tray. 1, 2, and this little guy makes 3. Wonder what Smokey's up to since I kicked him out of the office. Oh, nope, I need 1 more. Oh, there's 1 more. Okay, 1 more. Now I'm filling in holes. As you can see, I'm filling in some holes here. Okay, well, hopefully I can finish this up pretty soon, but I gotta have some lunch and get ready to go to the dentist. Yay, fun, fun. All right, I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye, you guys.